In a flash, I was jobless and was shooed off to the streets to fend for myself. "You're being let go today, Sarah." I felt like I was being sucker punched. My world came crashing down. Hi, my name is Sarah Lee, and what I'm about to tell you will change everything you believe about attracting and manifesting abundance in your life. It all started when I lost my job through no fault of my own. I had spent 15 years working at this company, and just like that, they abandoned me like I was a forgotten toy. I was furious, but also deeply sad. I gave up so much for this job, missing birthdays, working during Christmas, and so on. For this? Before I could register what was happening, I was in the lobby downstairs of the big office tower with a box of my things. I was frazzled and still shook. I was walking towards the car park and I bumped into this man. I dropped my box. My stuff fell all over the lobby floor. I was livid, but felt defeated. From what I could tell, the man was dressed in a two-piece suit. Tall, East Asian. He was confused, but calm. "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me help you with that." He could tell I was not okay. "Is something wrong?" Before I could think, I blurted out, "I just got fired." I was about to ugly cry, but I stopped myself. He was like, "Oh, that's horrible." He helped me pick up my things and walked me over to my car. I collected myself and thanked him for the help. He said, "No problem, you're welcome," and left. I didn't manage to catch his name. There was something about him that felt different, a feeling I couldn't shake off. He was composed. He had a brown and orange-looking bracelet on his wrist that stood out. I drove home safely. A few weeks later, I was at Target. I was shopping for groceries, minding my business. I went to line up at the checkout counter, and right in front of me was a guy that looked familiar, tall. On his left wrist, he was wearing a brown and orange bracelet. This must be that guy. I tapped his shoulder, and he turned around. He couldn't recognize me at first, and then it slowly came to him. "You're the woman I met at the car park, right?" "Yeah, the one that got laid off," I half joked. "Oh, yes, I remember. How have you been?" "I've been looking around." He puckered his chin and asked, "Have you had lunch? We can talk about it then if you want." My day was free, so why not? His name was Lee. We walked to a nearby Starbucks. We ordered our coffee and donuts and sat down. He asked me how he could help and what type of job I was looking for. But for whatever reason, I didn't want to talk about that. I just wanted to vent. I talked about how things just weren't going well for me. I was working at a job that I was unfulfilled in, but needed the money. I'm drowning in bills and living paycheck to paycheck. I don't dare to admit it to my adult son because I don't want to be a burden. I've been a single mom for the last 12 years after my divorce. He heard me out, and without saying a word, he took out from his briefcase a brown and orange-looking bracelet. It was the same bracelet he was wearing. He said, "Here, wear this." I was puzzled. I said, "What's this?" "It's called a Pishu prosperity bracelet. Me and my family have been wearing it for generations. I have plenty at home, so no worries." I was hesitant, and he could see it. He continued, "This is not an ordinary bracelet. This type of bracelet has been worn for centuries by emperors and high society in the Orient to attract wealth, prosperity, and opportunities. The ones my family wear has been blessed by Tibetan monks to activate the energies to the highest frequency. I suggest, if you are open to it, to just wear it for a while. If you don't like it, you can always remove it." Me, not wanting to impolite, I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try." I slipped it on. It was slightly heavier than I thought, and it had a dragon head in the middle. He told me, "Always wear it on your left wrist and make sure the dragon head is facing inward. Then you're all good." So I wore it exactly as he told. Pretty soon he had to get going, so we exchanged numbers, and we bid our goodbyes. I drove home, thinking about what just happened. I reached home and put the groceries in the right spots, and I would look at the bracelet, wondering if this thing really worked. Later that night, I was at my computer when I checked my inbox. I received from an email from a recruiter I used to work with, asking me if I was looking for a job. This was exciting news. I said yes. I applied for the job in an industry I was passionate about, and in no less than 2 days later, I was called for an interview. The interviewers were very nice to me. In fact, they were excited to hire me. Never experienced that before. The next day, as I was going through my drawers, I came across an old account username and password. It was an old investment account I had forgotten about. I hopped onto the computer and logged in. The amount had grown to $9,278. Just when I thought I was going to have to dip into my already depleting savings to pay for this month's bills, I discovered this. I really felt like the universe had my back. A few weeks later, I got a call from the company, and I was offered a job at double my previous salary. I was ecstatic. I called my recruiter friend to say thanks. After that phone call, I called Lee. He picked up and I said, "Hey, Lee, guess what? I got a job." "Congratulations," he replied. "Have you been wearing the bracelet?" I said, "Yes. I told you it brings good fortune. Just continue wearing it and you'll see." Heck, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? So I continued wearing it for a few more weeks, and more miraculous things happened. I won the second prize, a 42-inch flat-screen TV, at a sweepstakes I took part in months ago. I received a letter for a tax refund totaling $3,189. I was starting to get curious about this bracelet I was wearing. I recalled it was called Pishu, so I Googled to learn more about it. The more I learned about it, the more I was intrigued. I eventually decided to call Lee and ask him about the bracelet myself. I called him and he told me these Pishu bracelets were used for millennia to attract and preserve wealth. In ancient times, Pishu is a mythical creature in the tales of myth and legend. It feeds on unlimited wealth from all directions and keeps it in its stomach. It acts as a guardian of wealth. He also told me that while Pishu is meant to be worn on the wrist, he actually keeps crystals at home to amplify the practice. He said if I wanted to, I could come by his home and he could give me one of his crystals. I said yes. He gave me his address. The following day, as I drove to his place, the neighborhoods became more and more exclusive. Each preceding house looked bigger than the last. It was heavily guarded and very posh. I felt so out of place in my beat-up Toyota Vios. I finally reached his gate. It was 10 feet high with security cameras everywhere. I pressed the button on his intercom. The gates opened up and I was astounded. The compound was huge. It was the largest mansion I've seen in real life. It must have been at least 20,000 square feet. There he was at his front door with his wife. "Welcome," he exclaimed to me after pulling up. He welcomed me in. His stunning wife offered me tea. He gave me a tour of his house. Each room was more impressive than the last. You couldn't tell from seeing him on the street that he had such wealth. He told me his family has been practicing feng shui and ancient crystal gridding for generations. It's a tradition they hold dear, and they believe it has been largely the reason behind their luck and fortune. And then we reached his crystal table. It was small, but it was treated almost like a temple, a mini shrine, if you will, untouched in the corner of a wide room. He shared he uses citrine crystals, but like many things he practices, he doesn't source or use items from just anywhere. His family has been getting their bracelets and crystals from a small village in Lhasa, Tibet. He told me minerals and crystals of the highest quality are brought there to be blessed by the Tibetan monks, the same as His Holiness Dalai Lama, before being handmade into the bracelets and refined crystals we see today. It turns out mega wealthy families from Asia and even the West have been procuring their bracelets and crystals from this small village too. Then he proceeds to gift me a crystal about as tall as the palm of my hand. And he then told me specific instructions about where to place it in my house according to feng shui and how to use it according to ancient crystal gridding practices. I paid close attention. I asked him if there are any books or resources he recommended to me to learn about his stuff. He went into the other room, and he brought out some old translated works on feng shui, sacred geometry, and crystal gridding for me to bring home to read. The books were obviously dated with English we wouldn't use today, but I was hungry for this knowledge, so I accepted it. When I reached home, I did exactly as he said and he told me. I placed the crystals in the right spots and made my affirmations, and I devoured the books. More amazing things happened in the next few weeks. I checked my bank balance and I was deposited $2,000 from an old friend. I just remembered I lent them money ages ago and they returned it to me. And one of the craziest things was that I won third place at the local lottery. The total prize after taxes, $11,031. Things were going great. One day, I received a text from a close friend of mine who was asking me for money because her mom had a medical emergency. I chipped in, no problem. I had more in savings than I had in my life at that time. And then it dawned on me. If this was helping me so much, why not share it with my loved ones? And so I called Lee and asked him if he had any more bracelets and crystals he could gift me so I could bless others. He said he had just 2 more he could give me before flying to Tibet to get his supply of bracelets and crystals in a few months. Of course, I said thank you. I also asked him if it was needed to fly to Tibet. I Googled, and it was a 40-hour plane ride. He corrected me that the whole endeavor of flying from the U.S. to Lhasa will take about 2 to 3 days total. He told me this specific village he buys from does not do shipping. They intentionally keep a low profile and are very low tech. They only sell these blessed bracelets and crystals to people they know. They don't sell to outsiders or visitors. Because Lee's family has been buying from them for generations, he has become a regular there. A part of me just wanted to tell him to buy some extras for me, but a part of me also wanted to join him. I asked him if it was okay that I followed along with his family to Tibet. He asked if I was sure. It's not an easy trip to take. After contemplating it for a while and considering all the money miracles I've been experiencing, I said, yes, I'm sure. A few days later, I went to collect 2 more of these bracelets and crystals for my friends. I gave 1 set to my friend whose mom had a medical emergency, and I shared with her how to use it, and within a few short days, amazing things happened. Their insurance claims were approved expediently without any hiccups. My friend received so many freelance opportunities that she had to reject some. I then gave it to my recruiter friend who helped me get my job and also showed her how to use it. She called me a week later and told me, "Sarah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought this whole bracelet and crystal thing was a placebo, but I've had more business deals in the last week than I had in the last 3 months. There are too many opportunities coming up." I was ecstatic, knowing that I was changing my friends' lives just by sharing with them the bracelets and crystals. A few months passed, and it was time to go to Tibet. We boarded the plane and flew there. With the layovers and everything, it took 40 hours to reach Lhasa. When we reached Lhasa, that was just the beginning. We had to take a high-speed train to get us up a mountain where the village was. The whole train ride was 18 hours long. When Lee said the trip wasn't easy, he wasn't kidding. When we started to reach the mountains, we had to switch to a specialized train that gave us extra oxygen because we were entering high altitude. When we finally reached the village, the air was thin, but still livable. I was tired, but I was amazed by the village I saw. It was more secluded than I envisioned. You couldn't tell from the outside that this village was making bracelets and crystals. It looked more like a housing area. Being new to the area, I followed Lee and his wife's lead. We walked into what appeared to be a shop. It smelled of wood and concrete and incense. Lee and his wife were quickly embraced by the shop owner. They spoke a different language I couldn't understand. Lee asked if I wanted to see how the bracelets and crystals were made. I said yes. So they took me behind the shop. I saw old craftsmen shaping and hand-making each individual bracelet and crystal. I saw monks in robes chanting and blessing over a tray of bracelets and crystals. I was curious and asked Lee, "How many do they create in a day?" Lee said, "Only about 20 to 30 a day." Lee bought the whole lot of 23 that was handmade that day. Having spent 3 days just getting here, I wanted to buy enough bracelets to last my loved ones and me a lifetime. I asked Lee if I could buy about 9 to 10 lots. I didn't bring as much money with me at the time, so I asked if Lee could buy it on my behalf first. He agreed. So we stayed in Tibet for nearly 2 weeks to wait to get the whole 10 lots before we flew back. It was another 3 days of traveling before I could reach home back in the U.S. The first thing I did was set aside those my family would need. Then I set aside those for my friends and loved ones. I started to give a few to my closest friends. Slowly, word spread after my friends told others about how this bracelet and crystal changed their lives. More and more people started to reach out to me wanting to get the bracelets and crystals. Some of their stories deeply moved me, and I really wanted to help. But I didn't just want to give these bracelets away, as I had to pay Lee back. And I realized if I was going to share this with people outside my family and friends, I may as well do it in a way that would allow me to share it with as many people as possible who would need a little help right now and make it easy for them to receive these too. So I asked Lee if I could sell a portion of the bracelets and crystals I bought. Seeing what I saw in the village made me have to ask, since it was a very sacred tradition. Lee was very apprehensive at first, but I begged him for his permission and blessing. After weeks of convincing, he finally agreed. So, for the first time ever, these blessed Pishu prosperity bracelets and citrine crystals are available for the wider public. Attracting wealth and prosperity for millions of people was always a mystery, until now. Let's talk about the Pishu prosperity bracelet first. This bracelet is the ultimate wealth creation, attraction, and protection tool. As I shared earlier, for millennia, emperors and high society have worn this to invite prosperity, ward off evil spirits, and create and safeguard wealth and fortune. It prevents bad luck and creates good luck. This is not your ordinary bracelet. It actually also possesses other benefits, such as eradicating the effects of negative energies, transmits endless positive energy for you, creates relaxing air around you. You would never feel exhausted after a long day, as you might have before. Gets rid of any tension or anxiety, brings harmony into your life, fights off bad luck that could drain your hard-earned money, protects you from evil spirits and unwanted energy, guards you against accidents, illnesses, and injuries. These bracelets are blessed from the temple and will protect you like a shield from bad luck and negative energies. How do you use this bracelet? You just gotta wear it on your left wrist with the dragon facing inwards, and voila, you're set. Now, let's talk about the citrine crystal. These crystals send out very high vibrations at a precise rate to the universe, calling in abundance naturally. These vibrations cleanse your aura, enhance your manifestation efforts, and protect your soul. If you ever feel that you are down on your luck, this citrine crystal will transfigure and convert that negative energy into a positive one. It can literally turn bad luck into good luck. One of the cool things about these citrine crystals is you don't have to cleanse them. You just take them out, put them on your table, and that's it. When you pair Pishu with citrine, it's like nitro meets glycerin. It's like the power couple of abundance. Here are some other fascinating benefits about citrine crystals. Cleanses the chakras and opens up your intuition, attracts wealth, prosperity, and success, raises self-esteem and self-confidence, stimulates the brain, strengthening the intellect, promotes motivation, activates creativity, and encourages self-expression, enhances concentration and revitalizes the mind, releases negative traits, depression, fears, and phobias, encourages balanced emotions and calm feelings. It was Queen Victoria's favorite crystal. Celebs like Kate Middleton, Kate Winslet, and Jessica Chastain have been spotted sporting citrine jewelry. It's known as merchant stone because in the past, merchants traveled with it while selling their wares. It brought them prosperity. Roman priests used them in rings. Egyptians used them in talismans. Christians believed it to be one of the stones on Aaron's breastplate. It is believed to be powered by the sun and therefore brings warmth. Paired with your Pishu bracelet, you will send the strongest and widest vibration possible to attract and keep abundance in your life. Because these bracelets and crystals have been blessed by Tibetan monks, it vibrates at a frequency leaps and bounds stronger than other Pishu or citrine found on the market. Abundance is the default state. Mother Nature is abundant, and there's more than enough to go around. With Pishu and citrine, you will vibrate on the same frequency as abundance. However, do act quick, as there are limited quantities of less than 100 pieces. I knew that these could be life-changing for you. But that's not all. I want you to be able to make full use of this bracelet and crystal to attract and keep all the abundance you desire. So, I asked permission from Lee for me to share the contents of the books he graced me with. He was very hesitant at first because he saw these texts as the best-kept secret that helped his family attain wealth and opportunities for the past 120 years. But I fought really hard to convince him. I was an English major in college, so I took it upon myself to create a modern English of the books without changing their original meaning. I insisted on consulting with Lee on its accuracy. He read it and said it was. So here is what you will get together with the blessed Pishu bracelet and citrine crystal. You will get 3 free digital books that will take your manifestation to new heights. Book number 1, Feng Shui Fortunes. Feng Shui is the ancient Oriental art of optimizing auspicious energy flow in your home. By understanding how to use Feng Shui in your home, you can achieve harmony and balance in your space. Your home will be clutter-free and you will feel surrounded by uplifting, positive energy. There's a reason why Feng Shui has been around for centuries. Lee told firsthand that there have been families who used Feng Shui to buy houses, and because these families knew how to arrange their homes for optimum energy flow, all their children graduated with double bachelors. If you've ever felt stuck, no matter how hard you work, it may be because your Feng Shui was off, and it's been sabotaging your success all this while. In this book, you discover how to use a Feng Shui map that shows you exactly how to arrange your home to bring in good luck and fortune always. This book will also share a 21-day step-by-step plan to Feng Shui-fy your home before the end of the month. Book 2, History of Sacred Geometry. Sacred geometry is an ancient science that explores and explains the energy patterns that create and unify all things. It's a foundational piece to know to make full use of your citrine crystal. This book shares with you the background of sacred geometry, but more importantly, how to activate it in your life to manifest whatever you want into reality. Activating it brings forth more goodness and luck into your life. In fact, this ancient science was so powerful that it was forgotten for fear that it would be used in the wrong hands. Some say it lifts us off into another dimension. It takes us through time travel and interdimensional universes to activate our highest potential. It shows us to wake up to our spiritual divinity. Simply put, understanding sacred geometry helps awaken your spiritual prowess to be more receptive and welcoming of any luck and every opportunity that comes your way. The next book will help you grid your crystals to your own unique zodiac sign for maximum effect. Book number 3, Crystal Gridding for Your Zodiac Sign. This is where to learn the true powers of your citrine crystal. In this book, you will discover unique crystal codes you can use according to your zodiac sign. Doing this helps you unlock the limitless powers of the universe. This book shares how to create your own crystal grid and bend the fabric of your own reality. This practice amplifies the attraction of wealth from your Pishu bracelet like you wouldn't believe. Now, here's the part that will make your heart sing. When I first asked Lee for his permission and blessing to share the bracelets, crystals, and books with the world, he said no. But after weeks of talking and convincing him, I've been told I'm quite a persistent gal. He finally agreed on one condition, that whatever I sold must be at near cost. So while something like this would usually cost $200, and that would be a fair price given the weeks of travel, craftsmanship, blessing by the Tibetan monks, paperwork, customs, and the life-changing effects of these items themselves, I can't do that. Even if this were at $149, it would be a steal. But I can't do that either. If this were sold at $119 somewhere, I would jump on it in a heartbeat. But again, that would be too much. To keep my promise to Lee, I'm going to gift you all these for just $59. Yes, that includes domestic shipping. I'm basically giving you these at cost. So Just to recap, for the price of a family night out at a family restaurant, you will get the Blessed Pishu Prosperity Bracelet, Blessed Citrine Crystal, and 3 free digital books. Book number 1, Feng Shui Fortunes. Book number 2, History of Sacred Geometry. Book number 3, Crystal Gridding for your zodiac sign. The results have been astounding. Just from the blessed bracelets and citrine and little instruction, miraculous wealth opportunities have appeared in many lives. I wore it, and ever since, I've been getting referrals nonstop for my business for 2 months now. Jennifer P. This doesn't make sense at all, but my bank account has doubled in the last few months, and I felt like I didn't pinch or save one bit. Stephanie W. I was running a charity drive, and I received more donations this year than the last 5 combined. Martha J. The color of this bracelet is so striking. My boss asked me what it was. Weeks later, I was considered for a promotion over someone who has been in the company much longer than me. Henry Z. Imagine the opportunities, luck, and wealth that can come to you when you have the secrets that Lee and other affluent families like his have to harness the true powers of these blessed bracelets and crystals. But again, I must tell you, these blessed bracelets and crystals are very limited. There's less than 100 pieces. At the time of this publication, I have exactly 93 left. Due to this limited quantity, I foresee this is gonna run out fast. When I run out, I'm not sure when I would be able to get my hands on these bracelets again. Knowing Lee, he only goes to Lhasa once every 2 to 3 years. So you may have to wait up to 3 years if this batch runs out. That means these blessed bracelets and crystals may only be available for a very limited time, perhaps weeks, maybe even just days. So if you get in, you're very fortunate. I congratulate you. If you don't get in, I can't guarantee you will ever get in. So if you see an order button below, know you're one of a very lucky few. I urge you to secure yours before all the blessed bracelets and crystals are sold. I get it that you may worry if this will work for you. That's why I'm going to do something I wouldn't normally do. When you get these blessed bracelets and crystals, you are protected by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Yes, that's right. On top of getting these sent to you at cost, I would refund you your money back if it doesn't work for you. Just return it for a full, quick, and friendly refund. I'm doing this because I'm so confident that this can change your life. And quite frankly, this is too valuable to be in the hands of anyone who may not use it. When you proceed to checkout, just know your details are secure. We use the same SSL technology as Amazon.com to process payments, so you're in safe hands. If you see the order button below, just go ahead and claim yours now. One of the biggest reasons I'm doing this is because I know times are tough, and it breaks my heart to see other good, honest people suffering through no fault of their own. So this is my way of giving back with Lee's blessing. Imagine what this can do for you for the mere price of a night out at a restaurant or Starbucks for a week. What if all this did was break your paycheck to paycheck cycle? Would it be worth it? What if all this did was welcome abundance at half or even a third of what I achieved? Would it be worth it? What if all this did was shower you with prosperity, opportunity, and sheer peace of mind that the universe has your back? Would it be worth it? Just know that if you do nothing, nothing changes. You can get this for yourself, but you are free to give this up for someone else. Still here? I get it. You may still have some questions. Let's go. Where does free shipping apply? Shipping is free domestically in the U.S. For international shipping, I would have to charge $16.95 to cover costs. You can download the digital books in the members area instantly upon checkout. I've never heard of this before. How do I know this will work? These blessed bracelets and crystals have been used by wealthy families for generations. The ancient science of feng shui, sacred geometry, and crystal gridding is practiced by millions worldwide. Not to mention the countless miracles Lee, my friends, and I have experienced. If you don't give it a try, you'll never know. Remember, you can try the entire set for 60 days, risk-free. How fast will I receive this? For domestic shipping, it will be around 3 to 5 working days after processing. For international shipping, it may only reach your doorstep in 7 to 9 working days after we process your order. For the digital books, you can download them in your members area instantly upon checkout. How do I use this? You will receive written instructions together with your set of the Blessed Bracelet and Crystal. Do I have to cleanse these? No, you don't have to. You can use it right out of the box. What if these are not for me or I change my mind? I get it. You have some doubts and afraid to make a wrong decision. But no worries. If you receive the items and feel they are not for you or you changed your mind, you are protected by my 60 days money-back guarantee. Just return it within 60 days of purchase for a full, quick, and friendly refund. I hope that helps. If you wish to attract good luck, wealth, and opportunities effortlessly, if you want to manifest abundance and live your dream life sooner rather than later, then I recommend you to secure yours now. If you see the order button below, just go ahead and claim yours now.